You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Revolution After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Revolution.
I'm telling you, we are never, ever, ever getting back
together.
Like ever.
We're talking about some Monroe right here, a little bit of Miles right here.
Yep.
Never, ever, ever getting back together.
Ever.
Hey guys, what is happening? We are the Revolution After Show because Bing is for doing, and we're doing Revolution. Guys, sitting across from me, the always lovely Kristen Snyder.
What's up?
And next to Kristen, the also handsome Derrial Christon.
What's up, everybody?
And sitting next to me, Kristin Carole.
Hey guys.
And guys, my name is Dave Klein, and you're watching Revolution. Let's just jump into it, because we had the giant mid-season finale this episode. This was the one that everything had been leading up to, and we got a lot of awesome flashbacks that I think we should jump into, where we really found out the meat and potatoes of Miles and Monroe's relationship and kind of what they're all about and why they've been so strong together. And the first part we get, it kind of goes backwards in time. The first part we get is them together during the Trenton campaign, which was 5 years after the blackout. And Monroe is telling Miles that they're running out of bullets, and we kind of get to learn why they're using swords and being pirates, which Kristen was gleeful about.
So happy about the pirates. Sexy pirates.
She actually fainted for a moment because she was so excited.
Just dress like a pirate and you win my heart.
I'm waiting for a peg leg to come up.
Yeah.
That would be
Aye.
And so we get that
Wait,
moment.
is that Popeye or is that a pirate? Sorry.
What does Revolution start with?
Arr.
I like Popeye. Where's Popeye?
Yeah, Popeye's a sailor. So
Sailor
a little
man.
bit different. Kristen will go for sailors too. So sailors or pirates apparently. But Miles in this scene has been shot, and Miles is telling Bastion just to go and to leave him, and Bastion refuses to because of all the times that Miles has saved him. And as we find out, they're typically brothers. What did you guys think about this opening sequence?
I was happy that we were finally getting to their storyline, as I feel like they're the main characters of the show.
I think it definitely it piques your interest because there's all these explosions, and we haven't really seen their relationship that much. We've heard about it. We've seen slight flashbacks, but this really delved into the relationship and why. You know, because we learned the last episode that Miles didn't kill Monroe when he had the chance.
Right.
And you're like, well, you know that they're friends, and that'd be a little awkward, but...
I have a question for you guys. Like, who's the real big bad in this? It's been built up for us that we are supposed to think that it's Monroe.
It's Dr. Claw.
It could,
Randall.
It could be Randall.
I think it's definitely Randall.
Maybe, or it could be Grace, or it could be Rachel, or it could be anyone.
I don't think
we
it's
really don't know.
So I was kind of hoping that, a little off topic, but I was kind of hoping that Monroe would end up dying and that Tom Neville was going to take over and become the new leader of the militia.
Yeah.
Because that kind of would made sense based on last week's episode and everything that was going on. So I was kind of hoping for a little bit of that action. But we find out, going back to the Brotherhood of the Traveling Pants, we find out that they have been going through a lot together, and they've been known each other ever since they were kids. And we get the next flashback being them at the graveyard where Monroe is drinking away his sorrows, sitting, and we find out that his entire family, or immediate family, has just died from a drunk driver killing them, and he is not doing too well.
So he's going to have a drink.
Well, I like what he actually said. He said he was having a family dinner Which I liked that choice of words because, you know, clearly he's just drinking alcohol with all his family who is now dead, but I really liked those words in the script.
Well, I thought it was interesting because of the fact that he did lose his family. I don't know if that made him like hard the way he is now, or if did that change the way he thinks about other people's family as far as like Miles and his family? Like that's what I was trying to figure out.
Well, I think it did two things. I mean, one thing it made it so you know that he has no personal connections per se that might hold him back or might have changed after the blackout. He has no ties. Another thing is, as they point out, it just made, as Miles told him, we're brothers.
Right.
So it made it that much stronger of a relationship. So now, as we kind of keep seeing from him, he feels like Miles is his family.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only person he has to live for. What else does he have? He doesn't have a woman in his life, and I mean, unless we just haven't seen her, but he's got really nothing. It's weird.
No,
she could be paired up with like 3 people, right?
No, he had I was gonna say he had a little lady in his bed.
Some brunette in there.
Yeah.
But she has no significance. We know what that's
Oh,
for.
she has significance.
Tell that actress that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yikes.
Sorry.
She fulfilled a need.
She
Exactly. A very
But
important
Miles
need.
probably
important
knows who that woman is because he made that remark that one time. I know what he does. I know who he sleeps with.
Oh, that's true.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so he's had several ladies, probably. Probably. I mean, he also was like a total womanizer apparently after this whole thing happened, as I think Rachel remarks. So afterwards, we keep going back in time, and the next part that we go back to is them as kids playing, and we find out the start of the Monroe symbol and where it came from, which was them as kids kind of just coming up with like, oh, Monroe and Matheson, and they kind of made an M to signify for both of them being together. So that was kind of cool to find out where it came from, and I feel like that's where a lot of like things like that come from, because if you look at modern day gangs, that all came from groups of kids who at first like came up with something that they thought was cool, and then it grew into something really bigger than it should have been.
Yeah. There's so many things that are like that. I mean, I did enjoy like that part in the scene where you got to see that background and a backstory, I should say, on what the M's were all about. M&M.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hard part about it. I mean, with nostalgia, is it's really like this thing that you remember that perhaps never really happened. Like, you make it bigger than it is, and then you're always trying to recreate that as an adult. And I feel like for Monroe, he's like not grown up, and it's still like this battlefield as they were kids.
Yeah.
Is what he's like treating it like now, and without regard for anyone else.
I thought it was a good transition with one of their flashbacks with the little kids where they said, where he's like, I'm gonna kill you, Miles, and I'd like to see you try, Bass. And it's just the great parallel between them as little kids where you're goofing around and doing that, and they probably never thought in a million years, I actually am going to try to kill you later.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also, as Kristen said, where you see them kind of growing up too, and you see that multiple times. Like, they were fighting the war as kids, then they were fighting the war as adults, and then they're fighting the war together. So like it kept on growing and growing and growing. And
Or it shows how much you don't grow up sometimes.
There you go.
Especially for them, Monroe is still looking towards Miles even all these years later and wants him back.
Yeah, I was going to say it's more Monroe who didn't grow up, because Miles seems to have left that. Obviously, we find out later he's left that part of his life, but he's definitely taken a different path.
Yeah.
yeah, so let's jump on the kind of normal part of the episode now. So this backstory is going to come in incredibly important later on, but we start off with in Philly, where Charlie's head is bleeding once again from the knock to the head last episode.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out what they're going to do when Nora sexes it up a little bit to try and get into Kip's room.
Should
Kip's
some
place.
readjusting.
Just a little bit of readjusting.
That always
there.
works.
And then they bust in.
Gets you indoors.
Right, exactly. She busted up to bust in, and they.
Like Stephen liked that back there too.
That was a good
Your
one, Dave.
laughter from the booth.
So they end up getting in and kind of convincing Kip to take them in. Miles kind of convinces them, and then Miles leaves them to go head out and try and find info on Danny, because they're my streets.
Yeah. He knows all about the streets, that Miles.
I still don't get why he wouldn't put on a hat or something.
I'm sorry.
just
That
to
cost-
disguise
Hype over that
himself.
song.
That costly girl on the
You
chat
can't tease
mentioned.
me like that, Steven.
That costly girl in the chat mentioned Sassy Nora was her favorite.
Oh.
So, what did you guys think about this whole scene with Kip? Did you think that he was going to be trustworthy? What did you think?
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I feel like we didn't get enough of him,
Yeah.
actually. Like,
was short-lived.
Kip who? Like, I know what his face looks like, and I know that he was Miles' friend, but as a character, we didn't get anything about him.
Well, it's interesting. They said that he was Miles' only friend, right?
Yeah.
That was his only friend in the city.
So let's, like, get a flashback. Like, give me something. Like, why?
Yeah, it didn't give us too much backstory on him besides that. So
Tell me one thing about the character.
Probably just because they were going to take him away so quickly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at
that's
first
true.
I didn't necessarily think he was shady, but he did not look happy to see Miles. So
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think he was going to turn them in, so I was kind of surprised when when Tom Neville came in. So that sort of surprised me.
Well,
he
he
didn't.
didn't
well, he
turn
didn't turn him in.
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, it surprised me at first because like I was saying, I didn't think that it was him. So at first it surprised me, and then it was revealed that Tom figured
Oh,
it out. I was
gotcha.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that scene beforehand with Neville before he breaks in, where Monroe's talking with Tom Neville, and Neville gets a coded message from the guy who died last episode through Charlie's arrow. Wheatley, where Miles is on his way, or they kind of figured out that Miles is on his way, and Neville wants him to go to the house in Boston, or Neville wants Monroe to go to the house in Boston, and Bastion's like, run away? What are you talking about? So he's
Right.
refusing to have
I
any of
don't
it.
run.
I do not run.
Yeah.
And we get a little bit about Monroe's character from that scene, which is that, I mean, he will stand and fight to the end. He's the captain of his boat, so he'll go down with it no matter what.
I think he's just nuts like most captains, but those are the ones I like, so.
Or he's a little nuts.
Or he's a little nuts.
But we find out also that, and this is kind of what I thought was interesting in this scene, is we find out about a border war going on with Georgia.
Yeah.
So apparently there's this big war going
Little
on
drop.
that we didn't know about. I mean, there's kind of little references because they always have maps that they're looking at, strategic maps. So maybe this is sort of where why the militia still exists is because maybe people think, oh, it is good because they're fighting border wars and they're fighting those invaders who are coming. So maybe we're getting a little bit of why the militia is still
I think they're
around.
fighting the border war so that they can just take over.
They do say it's to expand their territory. That is what they say.
So,
And I think we'll probably get more of that story the next season too, because they are seeming to give us little glimpses of it.
And now
Yeah.
they'll potentially be able to fly over there.
Yeah.
and I heard that like next season it takes like a huge turn in a different direction. Clearly, because we're not looking for Danny anymore, and they have their group together. But I would have liked to see just a little bit of that of what's going to happen to kind of tease us.
They probably just made enough episodes just in case it didn't take off the series because it's so new and you're never sure that they could have ended it here
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
they really needed to.
Right, that's a good point. But
They find Danny, kill Monroe, and boom, it's over.
And then it's over.
First series done.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they definitely could have switched things around depending on what happened and how well the show was doing. So it does make it so they have a lot more now that they can play with because the show did so well.
Yeah.
So let's jump into the scene afterwards where it was kind of Nora and Aaron were sleeping, and this is now why we find out Tom Neville was able to find them, was because he figured out from this coded message. And he's just kind of showing off, again, he's smart, he can read into things and figured that, hey, Kip's the only place that Miles would go, so he's showing he also can read into Miles and knows things. So,
insurance agents.
insurance agents, what you gonna do?
Gotta be careful.
I never knew they had such skills.
They're gonna track you down, Kristen. Watch out.
They probably should.
Again, I'm still looking at Tom like he has meth to deal to somebody every time I see
Every
him.
time.
Yeah,
Or he's a genie from Once Upon a Time.
I'm ready for it.
So
A genie who deals
A
meth.
genie who deals
What do you
meth.
wish for? Meth? I can provide that.
He's
Oh,
still a
boy.
very mysterious character. I think that's my favorite part of him is he always has so much mystery behind those eyes.
He does. He does, but he doesn't anymore. Ever since we learned his backstory, you know, the third episode in, I get him now. I feel like I get who Neville is as a person.
Yeah.
You know, he's so
But I feel-
ego-driven.
yeah.
I feel at this point that's who he is.
But I still don't know if we can predict what he's going to do.
True.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm
give you
more
that.
interested in his wife's backstory because she all of a sudden is way more hard than she was in the flashbacks.
Oh,
I was
definitely.
so ready for her
But I
to
guess
die.
so is Neville, though, at the same time. So they've kind of both grown hard together.
Yeah.
I really felt like we needed a bigger finale death than the one that we got.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I kind of was too. But let's, before we talk about, this is where a big split up happens. And before we go into that, I should mention, guys, that we appreciate your feedback in any way possible, whether that be going on iTunes, going on YouTube. Please rate us, give us comments. Positive or negative, it doesn't matter. We just want to see how we can make this show better for you guys. And also join us on the live chat. We got people on right now who are checking out, and we'll definitely read your comments when you get the chance, and call in too. So make sure you do all of those things, all of the above. So let's get into the split up. This not the major split up at the end, but the split up of the characters, where first we're going to talk about kind of Charlie, Rachel, and Danny and their whole situation that they're in. So we start with Charlie getting locked up with Rachel. What? So she's thrown in the cell with Rachel, and Rachel's happy to see her, but she does not look too happy.
She's like, bitch, where you been? My whole life.
You know, we had this discussion while we were watching it. I still feel like there should have been more questions from Charlie to her mother at that point.
Right.
I didn't fully believe that it's been this amount of time and she wouldn't have any more questions than that. Like, just, I know she would be angry with her, but I just felt like there should have been a little bit more. If I haven't seen my mom in 15 years, I'm like, listen, first of all, where the hell were you? Let's start there. You know, give me all the story of what the hell just happened, because I've been on my own, you know, with my brother, and I thought you were dead. So I can understand her being upset, but I just wanted a little bit more of that reaction.
I feel like the real reaction, though, how we would be in real life, would come off cheesy in a show, you know?
I don't know. I think
no,
it depends.
not on The Walking Dead.
It kind of comes off of like a little unrealistic to me, though. Like, I feel like also with Danny, like, we didn't get that question either. I think the first thing on my mind is, you're alive? Where have you been? That'd be the very first thing on my mind, and that's what I want to know as a viewer too. Where the hell has she been?
But as a writer, I don't know if they could have written that and people been like, "Oh, it's so cheesy."
Well, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't take it as cheesy. I would just take it as maybe they don't want. I would take it as they don't want to reveal where she's been yet, and that's why they're not doing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just kind of comes off as why is she not asking her this, and why did we not found this out?
Yeah, it just seemed like a small void in that particular
Yeah, but she
scene.
couldn't answer that because that would give us way too much. So it's like that takes us somewhere else. That takes a show in another direction that they are not ready to go to. Like, she can't answer because that's revealing information to us too. So I feel like by avoiding having the character ask that, they're also delaying plot points that we need to get to later on.
What if she just had a hard-boiled response? Where have you been? In prison. And she doesn't expand off of that.
Yeah, I don't think that's this kind of show.
Well, that's another thing. I thought Charlie was a little too harsh because obviously her mother's in prison. I mean, she doesn't know the backstory to that or why she is, but to just be pissed that, oh, you left, but she's in prison. So something happened between the moment she left and the point that now she's locked behind bars in the Monroe Republic, and she doesn't know anything else.
Yeah.
I was a little angry at Charlie, actually, that she was so mad at her mom. Again, us knowing what she's done and what she did, who knows, maybe she was going somewhere else and it wasn't the Monroe Republic for as much as Charlie knows, and here she is like ragging on her mom who's in a jail cell.
I was kind of happy that she was really pissed at her mom.
No, I mean, I could see her being pissed off, and I agree with that. I was happy she was pissed. I see that. It was just more of I would think she would have a million questions.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's my
more,
point.
Yeah, like, I'm pissed off, definitely. I would be pissed off, too. But I just thought she'd have more questions. But
I think I'd be happier that my mom was alive and thought that maybe she would come back for me and got taken.
You're a better person.
I don't know. That would be my person.
I mean, I think Charlie may have been like that, like, before this big adventure, before she lost everyone, but I think she's hardened a lot since then.
She's definitely hardened.
Like her mom said, you've grown up.
Yeah,
That
she
was
definitely
her
has.
reaction to how Charlie was treating her, is you've grown up.
So Watchtower Base agrees that he thinks it's understandable she was pissed. So from the live chat, we got some agreements with that.
Thank you.
Now, not everyone's as soft as Kristen over here.
I'm not saying you shouldn't be a little bit mad because her mom did leave her, but I thought that harsh. It's still your mother, for God's sakes.
mean-
You haven't seen her in 15 years. It's ridiculous.
It is true that she is behind bars. It's not like she's just walking
Maybe
up
I like my
"Oh,
mom
hey."
more.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you have reason to. I don't think that Charlie did have reason to.
Well, from last episode, Charlie might have liked her dad a little bit more anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she
Go
just
Tim.
she grew up with
Tim Guinee. Go
That's
Tim.
true. She wasn't in the flashback at
She
all.
was in the flashback. I'm just saying.
So we do get these moments where Charlie's just biting into Rachel, and Rachel doesn't know where Danny is. But as they're or Rachel wants to know about Ben's death, and Charlie has to explain about what happened. And when she hears about Miles, her immediate response is, did he hurt you? So there's something that we don't know there about Rachel and Miles that has clearly happened that we're not finding out, that we will hopefully figure out soon here. But there's something going on between the two of them when they get to meet Danny pretty soon because Strausser comes in to grab the ladies and bring them to Danny. A family reunion.
Yes. We've been waiting for this moment for a while now.
This is how all my family reunions are too. It's very weird.
Y'all meet in jail.
Yeah, we all meet in jail. Someone grabs me, pulls me to them, and it's strange family reunions
Yeah.
all around in the Klein family. That weird. So Strausser, so after that, Monroe
Thank you, Quagmire.
Monroe comes in to greet the family, and he wants Rachel to finish the amplifier. And we get kind of the first really intense moment in this episode where Strausser says, "Choose which of your children I will kill," and just immediately starts pointing the gun. And Charlie offers herself up, and it looks like he's about to shoot her. And I thought that he was just gonna go, "Oh, well, since you want to die," he would just turn and shoot Danny.
Danny, yeah.
I
That
thought
would
that
be a
might
good
happen.
movie. That would be a good movie, Dave.
Well, we knew he wasn't going to shoot Charlie, you know. So
I liked that part though.
I did like the part, but I do agree with Dave. I was hoping that maybe Danny might get a little clip from this particular scene.
That was just sort of what I was expecting, though.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, and then he would shoot the other
click,
guy because this is what you want, so I'm not gonna
Yeah,
give it to you.
exactly.
So this is how, once again, Rachel breaks. Is any time it is her children at stake, she breaks, and she says she'll help them with the amplifier because once again, it is the children at stake. And we found out that this is the amplifier that was being worked on last week from the doctor that she killed,
Right.
Jaffe.
Jaffe,
Jaffe.
by stabbing him through the eye with a screwdriver. Not the
No,
eye.
chest. The chest.
I'm gonna imagine eye because that's even more gruesome.
Yeah.
But stabbing him with a screwdriver. So, really good intense moment there though, and that costly girl in the chat says, "Strausser, oh dear heavens, that man frightens me." Doesn't frighten Rachel too much though.
Your daughter's like
Rachel
a-
doesn't seem to be scared of a lot of things, actually.
Yeah.
I
So-
just really like that line that he said. He's like, "Your daughter's like a peach, and I can eat peaches all
That
day."
was dirty.
That was so
really
dirty.
It's really dirty.
A little creep
Very
factor there
creepy.
going
All
on.
day, peaches.
So
Millions of peaches.
we do get
Peaches
Monroe
for me.
mentioning. We do get Monroe mentioning a good hostage will work every time, which is pretty funny at that moment because it's right after the scene we'll talk about soon where Miles is holding Tom's family hostage.
Yeah.
So once again, you're kind of seeing that as Miles taught me, a good hostage will work every time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun to see once again that kind of play between the two of them and how much that Miles has really influenced Monroe, and I think that's what we get out of that, is just how much he's influenced him.
He was like his parent that he didn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like a big, the big brother, obviously.
So Charlie and Aaron are then brought into a room and locked up where they're trying to figure out how to bust out of the vent by doing the Nora Busty method. When a militia dude catches them and catches Danny, where all of a sudden Charlie comes out of nowhere with a vent and beats him over the face
Yes.
and then stabs him.
That was a nice scene because I
Awesome.
actually, when the guard walked in and I saw Danny crawling, I was like, why didn't they wait? Why didn't they, if they said they
Yeah.
heard footsteps, I was like, why the hell didn't they wait until, he comes, looks into the cell and then leaves, and then they surprised us with that move. I was like, man, look at Charlie's, she's badass once
all
again.
grown up.
All
Heck,
grown up.
even Danny was surprised. You see the look on his face?
yeah.
That was the best.
Because he had never,
scene.
it was a good reaction because he has never seen her like that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not the sister he remembers.
she
Just
doesn't
grab that
know.
gun.
He was in awe of her the whole time. I feel like he had like 2 lines this whole episode.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at least we got to see him again, though.
True.
It's been like 2-3 episodes since we've even seen him.
Nate
He
or
grew out his hair a little bit more.
Yeah, Dave missed his hair.
I did.
Jason is probably still sleeping.
His hair. I'm just daydreaming
So
here about his
dreamy.
hair. Yeah, we didn't see Jason, though, in this
Probably
episode
still
at all.
sleeping from the injuries.
Probably. He's just sleeping it off, hanging out. He has no idea what's going on.
He hasn't been in the last couple episodes.
Well, maybe Tom's hiding him because his girlfriend, is in town.
Yeah.
That's true. Or maybe he's flying that helicopter at the end, but we'll talk about that
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna save him.
later.
So
I hope so.
I like the scene with Rachel trying to get the amplifier working, where you kind of see the hint of the hammer for a moment.
Yeah.
And it's Anonymous on the chat kind of mentioned, was it really a good idea for Strausser to taunt Rachel while she was around so many tools?
Turns out, no.
He's not very smart.
As we find out.
He was focused on his peaches.
Yeah,
That's
he
what
was
he's
he was
Where's
hungry.
that Peaches song,
Yeah.
Steven? I like that.
I was tempted to, but it went by so fast.
We're
Sorry.
talking about it now.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, I want some peaches.
I'll do it.
Bust it out. I'm just using that word all over the place
That's
tonight.
all right.
Best.
Peaches is my word. You can say
Peaches and
busting out.
busting out, and it's all just, that's what's
Yeah.
on my
Is that
mind.
part of the drinking game today?
It should be.
It should be.
Watchtower Base, get on that. We're doing this for you, man.
Exactly.
Where's our
Where's
song?
our song? Damn it.
Well, while we,
All right, well.
while we
Wait
wait
for
for
that.
some peaches, let's talk about.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, I love the beginning. It's like the best part. Let's get into it a little bit.
I'm gonna skip it for you then.
I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country. I'm gonna eat me a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country.
I thought that was your hair. I was like, man, I just got hair in my.
Whipped.
I think there's
I got
going to be a
whipped.
new
I got
music
whipped by
video with
Kristen.
Strasser.
I just got whipped by Kristen. Oh, we have all
Oh,
these
we even
various
have
We got some
peaches.
peaches in the back.
Peaches on our screen right now.
For those who are just listening, we have a screen in our studio that is playing a bunch of peaches and images on it.
And images of peaches.
And images,
This is
more
our-
images of
That's
peaches.
the theme of the mid-season finale is peaches.
This is our rest in peace to Strausser.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Country.
So let's jump in
I'm
and
still eating peaches.
let's talk about the other half of the group, where it's Aaron with Tom Neville, and Nora's there as well. And Tom Neville recognizes Aaron a little bit there from the whole Google campaign.
Yes.
And assumes Aaron was. He kind of assumes there that Aaron was this high and mighty asshole who treated everybody at a cubicle like crap, and he's like, I was that guy in a cubicle, but look at me now, and look how the tables have turned.
Look at me now.
Well, he
Look at
delivered
me
my
now.
favorite quote. He called him a
No,
fat,
Kristen.
He called him a fat, pot-marked ass.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
We're
Yeah.
getting paper.
I also thought it was great and yet slightly creepy when he goes, I'm a big fan of your work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wanted you to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like here he is insulting him. But I'm
Just
a
wanted you to
big
know.
fan of your work.
Just wanted you to know. I want you to know.
We're getting really creepy in here tonight.
It's because it's the mid-season finale.
Mid-season finale,
Exactly.
crazy things are happening.
Crazy thing. It's a full moon.
As that
Psych.
costly girl mentions, AfterBuzz Revolution, now a musical.
Yes.
That's
What else
awesome.
can we sing?
We've shown all of our
I
talents.
keep dropping titles of songs, but Steven won't go for them.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I think we gotta talk. This is a talking show.
It's a singing
And then we
show.
sing to the music, and as we're explaining it. So we get that that Tom's plan is to use Aaron and Nora's bait for Miles to try
Yes.
and get Miles in, and it sort of backfires on him just a little bit. We see Miles has busted in to Tom Neville's place, and he has Julia Gulia as hostage by sword.
Wedding singer. Can we play
So-
some wedding singer music, please?
I loved his entrance there too. He goes, mind pouring me one? And Neville had no idea that Miles
No
was
clue.
going to be there. I mean, here's a guy who's on top of his game, and Miles just beat him at it.
It's
Yeah.
great to see.
Well, I also thought it was interesting that Neville used the lines that he was saying to Miles, that you broke into my house, you took my wife, or I think he said something in reference to that. When I was like, oh, what a hypocrite. He does
Yeah.
that to everybody else.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
how can you be pissed off that this is happening to you? It's about time it happened to you.
But what do you guys think about that line that he's like, you know I'm going to kill you for this someday?
Yeah, I'm
That's
going-
kind of why I thought it might be a preview to maybe that Monroe was going to get killed, and Tom, as Julia mentioned, that she wants
Julia
him to be the
Gulia.
head of
Yeah.
the militia.
Now I'm going
That-
to kill you.
Yeah, that he would end up being the head of the militia and just trying to gun down for Miles.
Yeah.
I think Julia should kill Monroe and be like, now's your time, or something like that.
That'd be good. But I can't lie. I wanted Julia to bite it tonight. I wanted Miles to take her out. I thought
Yeah.
that would have been a cool scene to have her killed.
Because then Tom would have really
He would have
had
been
something
really
to
pissed.
fight
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
That's
It would have
true.
changed his whole persona even more.
And he was just locked in a closet.
You know, he was trapped in the closet.
He was trapped in the
R.
closet.
Kelly style.
Yeah, R. Kelly stuff.
Oh, don't
All
want to
right.
be trapped
I was
in that
thinking
closet.
about the Eminem song. Something, I'm in a closet.
So Julia believes that. So Julia believes that Miles is bluffing this whole time,
Yeah.
is trying to tell and convince Tom that Miles is bluffing, and we really don't know if Miles was bluffing or not because he's killed a lot of people in his day.
Yeah.
But Julia's convinced, and we see that this is, again, if you have the right hostage, you can make people buckle. This is the right hostage that is making Neville buckle. So he goes and grabs Aaron, goes and grabs Nora, doesn't have the kids, but he grabs them and he has buckled here and is telling them where they can find the Danny and Charlie and where everybody's at.
Yeah.
So definitely a defining character moment, and you find, because we weren't really totally sure before just how much the two of them cared about each other. And we find just how much, at least Neville still cares about his wife.
Yeah.
Just to that extent that this is the character that will make him buckle.
And it does seem to be like a ongoing thing that all the people are scared of the way Miles used to be. They don't know that he's had this little bit of transition while he's been with. It's really hard to talk while this R. Kelly song is playing, but
I'm just picturing the video.
because my mind is going to a different place. But no, I mean we see that everyone who comes across Miles is still scared of what Miles used to be.
Right.
But we know as he's changed with Charlie.
He's a changed man.
He's a
Look
changed
at the
man.
reins, man.
But even tonight, it's like Monroe, I think, or excuse me, Neville was a little bit nervous about what Miles would really do to Julia just because of that history of the way he used to be.
So a Hey Man guy with all of Kristen's references to music thinks that you and partying has assumed you're now the Kesha of AfterBuzz.
No, that's
I
fine.
wrote that down. I was going to tell you later in case it didn't come up. I'll take that. Thank
So,
you.
all
I
right,
think you're going to
party
go party
girl.
later.
Thank you.
I don't know. Just don't wake up letting your hair look like it was just in vomit. That's what Kesha looks like to me.
Yeah. she
AfterBuzz
does.
TV Jack Daniel flavored toothpaste.
That's what it is. But so Miles has found out where they're at, and Miles, Nora, and Aaron go on the quest to try and get them back and save them. And Aaron is placed with a mission from Nora. Nora has made, as always, some sort of bomb, some sort of explosive. And Aaron is placed on the quest to blow crap up, blow some S up. So they're going to sneak in, and Aaron's the one who actually finds the way and knows where to go because of his smarts, and we're seeing his intelligence starting to pay off.
Yeah.
And he's kind of left behind here to not have to take part in the action moments.
Science.
Science!
Science.
He's left behind for science! So, what, did you guys? I
We think he was actually left behind. I mean, obviously they needed somebody to do that, but out of the three of them, it makes sense that.
Oh,
he
are
would
you
be
saying
left
he's
behind.
useless?
No,
No, he
I'm
was
not saying he's
useful in
But he knows
Yes.
about
Is that-
science.
I know he. No, I think he's smart, but in terms of running in there and having
Yeah,
to
no,
shoot
I
people
agree.
and grab them and run out,
Yeah, that's not him. Wow.
Science!
we should have Bill Nye.
Oh my
on.
God, this is awesome! I love
Wow.
Bill Nye the
We're
Science
like a
Guy.
musical tonight, seriously.
Bill Nye the
I
Science
love
Guy.
it.
Okay, so it was an intake pipe that he leads them to specifically. So this is kind of the moment where all the action just goes out of control. So Charlie and Danny have kind of broken out and they're looking for Rachel when they start getting shot at. And as they're trying to defend themselves, Miles comes out of nowhere and stabs the dude right through his chest. We finally see some blood.
Finally, I've been asking for this all season. I got what I wanted
We
tonight.
actually see it, the blood, and dude falls down, and Miles has gotten there just in time, and everybody's ready to go. Charlie's got her gun she doesn't know how to use. Maybe it was a bow, but she has a gun, and they're ready to go. Action Jackson, Bo Jackson.
I like that.
So,
Conjunction junction.
What's your function? Okay.
what did you guys think about that scene overall? It was nice to see some action and really pick it up.
I know you were excited.
I was excited. Now, I think, was it you, Kristen, or you, Kristen, who said,
one person
which
now. It was
Kristen?
It was both of us.
Kristen, that why were they shooting at Charlie and Danny, because they don't want them to get killed yet. I mean,
Right.
because they have to use that leverage for Rachel. But I think someone brought up the point that they probably didn't know that. Well, no, they had to know who they were at that time. They were they knew that they had
Possibly.
escaped. So
I
why
guess
were they shooting?
Maybe
them?
shooting to injure. To slow down.
Or just scare him.
Slow your row.
Have you noticed that they always miss though?
They always.
are.
Those soldiers are some bad
Dave
shots.
Stormtroopers.
points out, they're stormtroopers.
They always
They
miss.
are the
They always
stormtroopers of this
miss.
world.
The biggest miss was the one with Miles and Rachel in the doorway. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
She didn't hit him somewhere?
Yeah.
Not the leg or I don't know.
There was a
Something.
lot of guns, lots of bullets.
Do you want to take a
no
fan
hits.
call?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Did Casey call last week? I don't know.
All right, fan, you're on the line.
Yeah. Hey, what's
Hey.
happening?
Hey,
What's up? Welcome to AfterBuzz.
thank you very much. It's Tim Guinee. How are you?
Oh, Tim!
What is happening?
I thought that was you. What a nice surprise.
It's the middle of the night. What are you people doing awake? You're crazy.
Waiting to talk to you.
Tim, we talked about you last week. We were like, we should have Tim call in. We were like, oh, it's probably too late.
Yeah, and we were giving you a shout out earlier this
We
episode.
just gave you a shout out like 10 minutes ago.
Fantastic. What do you guys do during the hiatus?
I guess we have other shows that we do.
Yeah, we're
after
doing
this.
other after
What
shows.
are you doing? Is the question.
Not right. Dating another girl or something now, or I don't know. This is terrible. I feel like we're being cheated on. How can you date doing other shows?
Well, we were disappointed
know.
to not see you in this episode.
Yeah, we didn't
tonight.
get any of you.
You were talked about though. We want to see some flashbacks with you and your wife, actually, Rachel.
Me too. Me too. Get on it immediately.
Good. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna be filming in this 4-month hiatus?
Yes. I am.
Nice. That's exciting. I'm happy to hear about
So
that.
you may get your wish.
Yeah,
We'll see.
because I'm really hoping to see some moments with Tim and Rachel, or not Tim, Ben, your character Ben, with Rachel, and see kind of what they knew. Because, I mean, there was a reason she was sent away, and I would assume your character knew, and I want to see what the decision was that led to that.
Well, and I want to see actually your character with Miles as well,
Yeah.
because you obviously Ben obviously trusts Miles so much. I know they're brothers, but if everybody else he's head of the militia, I want a little background with that.
Yeah. Especially after we got that nice flashback last week with Charlie it was like her her reality life was with Miles there, and then you were in her fantasy life. So it was a nice scene to have both you guys in that and that reveal as well.
It was so great. It was so fun doing that. I thought Dave Klein was unbelievable in this episode tonight.
Yeah. What was your
Sorry.
favorite
So-
part of the episode?
I'm sorry?
What was your favorite part of the episode?
It actually was the two scenes with Miles and Monroe. Because I just thought I thought he was unbelievable, Dave Lyons. I really he just got me both times, and I just thought it was great work.
Yeah, it was definitely nice to see them finally come together, because that's kind of what we've been waiting for all season, is the two, and that's
Right.
what they've been building up to. So I'm glad we got to see it during this mid-season finale and see what happened. And I'm also hoping we get to see more of your relationship with them as well.
Tim,
Me too.
Tim, did you
Nothing being
guys?
revealed here.
Tim, did you guys all get together and watch the mid-season finale together?
No, I actually finished shooting the beginning of last week and came home. So I'm actually home in upstate New York.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you're up really
So
late.
yeah, this is like
Oh yeah! Wow!
Wow.
Wow! We're honored that you're calling in
Is
right
this like
now.
3
It's like
a.m.?
almost 3 there.
Yes.
Are you
Now I
up?
have to go to sleep.
No, are you up tweeting? What are you doing? This.
No, I literally woke up and I thought I should just call them. It's exactly what happened. I
Oh man!
Aw, I'm so happy that
Made
you
our
think
night.
about us in the middle of the night.
oh wow.
Oh, I won't say anything on that, Tim.
All right, Kristen.
Chris, I'm always thinking about all of you.
I am very pleased to hear that.
These are interesting
It's
late
really
nights
creepy.
thinkings. Yeah.
I'm naked, covered in raspberry jam,
And
thinking
peaches. And peaches. Don't forget the peaches.
Tim, I need to find out what you're doing to get dreams like these, because I want in on some of these dreams.
Everyone dreams of AFTERBUZZ.
This is what I'm going to be thinking about tonight, I think, when I go to bed.
You know, literally what it was, the one time I did your show, I heard that lead-in music you have.
Yeah.
And it won't leave my brain.
It's there for life.
AFTERBUZZ TV.
AFTERBUZZ TV. That's why we do it. We're trying to hook you. It's never going to leave. It's like the pop song that
my
won't go
God.
away.
Honestly, after I do
Totally
this,
have me.
after I do this show, I like can't sleep for like 2 hours after we're done here. It keeps me up.
Yeah, it's because you re-energize yourself to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tim, thank you so much for calling, though.
So
I'm excited
great
'cause
hearing from you.
I'm excited because I didn't get to talk to you last time. I was
Yeah,
really
I didn't
depressed.
either. I was really sad as well. I couldn't be here.
Yeah, the full group's here tonight, Tim.
Woo-hoo. hopefully we'll talk in 4 months.
Yeah, wait, I have
Yeah,
one
I
more
hope so.
question before you go. When are you, when is the Broadway show coming? How's that coming along?
It's good. It's good. We're still. I mean, it's it takes a long time. So,
Right.
It'll probably be a couple more years before
Oh,
the
wow.
curtain goes up. But it's good.
I didn't realize it took that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
where okay,
unbelievable.
while Revolution isn't on, where can we catch you? Where can the fans go and see you?
Well, I'm in Promised Land with Matt Damon, Gus Van Sant movie that I think is, I don't know when it's starting soon. I think sometime in December or something it's opening.
Oh,
and
great.
There's a film called Just Like a Woman, that a French film that should be opening soon too.
Awesome.
Nice.
Cool.
And we can also find you in bed dreaming about
AfterBuzz
AfterBuzz.
TV.
AfterBuzz TV.
And at
In New
Tim
York.
Guinee on Twitter.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely follow Tim
That's
Guinee.
it. All right. I'm closing my eyes now.
Think of us, Tim.
Right.
Think of us
Thanks
while
so
you
much,
sleep.
Thank you
Tim.
for
Thanks,
the late
Tim.
night call.
Bye.
great.
Good
Have a
night.
great night.
You
Have a
too.
great one,
Good
Tim.
night. That was great hearing from Tim again. That was awesome.
No, it's funny. We just talked about him last week and wanted him on the show.
And I know Kristen and I were like,
Yeah.
oh, we got to hear from Tim finally because we missed it last time.
Yeah, we were stuck
Tim
at
is
work.
the man.
Tim is the man.
Yeah.
If there's a man, that's Tim.
He is the.
The only.
He is just the.
And hopefully we will get a lot more of Ben next mid-season as well,
Yes, it sounds like we will.
or next season.
So let's jump back into the episode and talk about the fact that right after Miles busts in, there's all these gunshots. Monroe has now left to kind of trace out these gunshots because he just knows that it has to do with Miles. And we get Rachel left alone with Strausser when she whips out the hammer and busts him in the head.
That was
Yeah.
so awesome.
That was
But then she misses, or that doesn't miss, but she
Yeah.
drops
That didn't
it
take him
and-
down too much.
no.
He's Strausser. What is his head made of? Gets a hammer to the head and he just keeps on going.
It's got peaches. Hard
Oh,
peaches.
totally.
Maybe
No,
he
it's
just
peaches.
Maybe he's used to getting hammers thrown at him.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
maybe.
Oh.
I'm sure he is.
This is
probably
the
think-
creepiest revolution podcast ever.
I
He
didn't
probably
quite mean
thinks
that way.
I took it there. I did. He probably thinks that that's sexy. I mean, remember when they used to talk about him being an artiste with the knives and whatnot?
So you're saying he's a masochist.
Probably.
All right, so he enjoys it.
He's that type.
So as he's enjoying it, he he kind of whips around, puts Rachel in a hold when she once again gets the hammer and sends him into a happy good times as she smashes him with the hammer and stabs him. And he smiles as he dies because he's so happy.
He kind of like sat up really
Yeah,
quick and
he
like
did.
shaking. I didn't think that he thought that she would do it, but as we know, she is like a born killer.
Yeah.
No half measures for Rachel.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you kind of just have to. It's like either do or die. And
Nice,
apparently there's-
Dave. I like that.
Yeah, got a do or die situation. But we get into this moment where she says, "This is for what you did to me."
Yeah. So
What
we
did
were.
he do?
Yeah.
What type of peaches has he been? What type of ripe peaches
yeah.
has he been grabbing at?
Yeah,
He-
he had some
He had
peaches.
some, yeah, he definitely
relished
did
in
some
those
things
peaches.
that she was not happy about. That,
And we got some of the people in the live chat also curious why she said that. And I
He
mean,
definitely raped her, to
yeah,
be
that's
clear.
what, yeah. I definitely believe that.
yeah, I mean, definitely comes across that way. I mean, there is the chance it was just because of everything that for beating up her kids.
Yeah.
There's the chance.
It's a chance. But she
yeah.
was pretty pissed off
But
about
in a
it.
creepy episode of Revolution AfterBuzz, we're gonna say it's rape.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is because they wouldn't have brought in the whole sexual line. He didn't need to throw that out this episode if they weren't going to then later refer to, he took advantage of
Yeah.
her in
I
some
agree.
way.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely why they would have placed that there, is to lead that seed.
Yeah.
And to make you think that and leave some other seeds.
Saying
So-
it without saying it.
Exactly. So right then we get Miles kind of running and finding Rachel and sends her away. And then Miles, and as Monroe finds them. So Monroe, we get that big confrontation of Miles and Monroe as Miles sends Rachel off. Big, giant confrontation. And you don't know quite what's going to happen there. They both have guns drawn. When Miles pulls some badassness out and kills everybody except for Monroe.
Yeah. Well, I like the way Monroe
Stormtroopers.
did the little like spin around to the side of the panel where he was strategically placed where Miles could not hit him at all with the bullet, and all his men are just wiped out in that moment. but he still was like in that little panel.
He knows. He
Yeah.
knows how to play Miles.
Yeah.
They played together for so long.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, I thought this was a good scene between the two. I really thought that they had a good, like, intense moment of you really don't know what's going to happen. Like, we were kind of guessing back and forth as we were watching. Is Monroe bluffing?
Yeah.
Is he just gonna, like, put his gun down, like, and
Would you have put your
pretend
gun down?
and then shoot him? And then, I mean, when he threw the gun away, it's pretty much like over once he threw the gun away. But at first, he puts his gun down first. And he brings back up this whole brother thing we got from the flashbacks. He really feels like Miles is family, and he really wants Miles back. And we also get the payoff from the previous episode where Miles just had that dream when he was hallucinating of he didn't know what he was going to do if he was asked to come back to the militia, which is what Monroe now does.
Which you could kind of see in his eyes that he was going through that.
Yeah.
Like,
But he's had-
not go.
But because of that dream, he's had a lot of time to think
about
about
it,
it.
Yeah.
That's true. He has definitely had some time watching Charlie's head banged up. And I think that might have also helped his decision was when he saved Charlie and maybe realizing how much he cares about Charlie.
Right.
That might have also helped make his decision for him.
Well, I guess before when he was with Monroe, he didn't really feel like he had a family. But now, since Charlie's come into his life, he's really felt needed. And everyone wants to feel needed. And I guess before he probably didn't, except for from... Why do they call him Bass, too? Like, or Bass?
Because
Bass.
Bastion.
Sebastian.
I know, but
Sebastian.
what I wanted to say was everyone calls him Monroe except for Miles, it seems.
Because they
Well,
go
that's
back.
his boy.
That makes
Yeah, I mean,
sense.
that's like his
Your
brother,
nicknames for
so it's his
people.
nickname.
Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting point, though, that no one else calls him Bass.
Yeah.
Yeah, where everyone else is probably too scared to call him Bass.
Probably.
You might cut off some
Probably
heads if they call him
badass.
Bass. Yeah.
Well,
Bass.
and here's his best friend that tried to kill him and became a traitor to the Republic. You don't want everybody calling you the same name that he does. I think it just bring back bad memories.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So it's just like they're that close. And it's nice that you mentioned that, though. And that is why he is the only one who calls him Bass. And we see that all the time throughout the various flashbacks. And we get Miles... At first, he starts lowering his gun, and you don't quite know. Is he like... He says... Well, first he says, I'm sorry. And I thought after he said, I'm sorry, he was just going to shoot Bass.
Yeah.
And then he puts down his gun and lowers his gun and starts telling him everything Monroe does
yikes.
not want to hear. We are not family.
Right.
All this does not work like that anymore. He just lays it down, and that's... Monroe
Like-
just looks devastated.
Now,
I felt that.
Do you think Monroe genuinely trusts Miles again and definitely wanted him back in the militia, like where he would really fully trust him all the way?
Yeah, I think so because he's got this war going on with Georgia. California doesn't like him. He's got a lot of problems and a lot of tension building up, which didn't seem to happen as much when Miles was around. He seemed to keep things together that way. Heck, I thought Monroe was gonna give him a hug at one point. He put
Yeah.
down his gun. He had his hands like this, like
He wanted a
"Come for a
hug.
hug."
He did.
So that costly girl points out that Rachel apparently calls him Bass as well throughout the show.
Oh.
So I'm wondering if it just must be something before.
Close.
Right,
People were
like
close.
closer. Just,
Knew him before.
yeah, knew him
everything.
before everything happened.
makes
Probably refer to him
sense.
as Bass because that was just his name. Like,
Yeah.
I go by Dave right now, but after everything goes down, no way. People call me David after everything goes down.
Okay,
So,
Dave.
I have a song request. Why wasn't there any Led Zeppelin in the finale?
I guess there's just some advertising campaign. They're doing with it. Oh, there we go.
That's Stephen from the booth.
No, it's not.
Some
That's
Zepp in the
Led.
house.
Yeah.
That's Stephen Plant.
Way down
Robert Plant.
No, Stephen Plant. I'm joking.
Oh,
Stephen Plant.
Yeah, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I would like to request Major Tom by David Bowie.
Wow, we've just got so much music coming out of this episode.
While you
Full
look for
moon.
that,
So what did you guys think, though, about this whole moment? Did you think it was a good way that they ended up, because they did end up getting into this big scuffle afterwards, but did you guys think that this was how things were going to go down?
I thought it was a very good emotionally charged scene. I didn't expect it to go that way because, like we were saying with last week, when Miles was hallucinating and he was thinking about the militia and that question came up about joining it, and then it was referred again tonight. I didn't know if like, oh, maybe he's going to really join the militia and then he's doing this to save Charlie or whatever. But I thought the scene was excellent, and I thought that Monroe, I mean, even when he had to break down, he was tearing up. I thought it was just a great scene.
I feel like Miles actually didn't know exactly what he was going to do until he saw Monroe, because he even said to Monroe, you know, I didn't realize it until right now, but I can see now that you're totally off your rocker.
Yeah.
Like, you're gone. You're so far gone. And I think that he really needed to witness that in order to make his decision.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering what he saw, though. I mean, I guess he would be the guy who knows the difference most
Right.
so. Because, I mean, that's kind of a weird situation to be put in the first place.
Yeah.
That you have to kill or be killed by your best friend.
Yeah.
So I don't know how people would generally react to that. But then again, we don't know how he reacted the first time that Miles tried to kill him. So
Mostly, I was hoping we would get to see that this episode, like flashback right before they came to each other again.
I think
Yeah,
they
you're
have
right.
to touch upon it next or second part of season 1.
Yeah.
But then my thing is too, on Miles' part, I mean, if he really wanted to kill Monroe at that moment, why didn't he just play it off and say, oh no, you know, yeah, let's I've been thinking about you, let's be friends, and then stab him then, you know, before this whole big chaotic
Right, when he's
scene
giving
where-
him that hug.
You know, the hug,
Stab in
hug
the
to the
back.
back, you know, that's, I
That would have been pretty badass.
that would have been badass.
Would have it been, or would have it been like coward?
Okay, it'd be cowardly, but just badass to watch. You'd be like, oh! You know, I was surprised that just like Miles didn't get his gun up in time, too.
Yeah.
Monroe was there to stop the draw. But while this is all going on, we get Aaron getting the pipe bomb ready. And I sort of viewed this, and as Nora and Charlie and all of them are back together, and I sort of viewed this as kind of Aaron having a little bit of redemption in a sense, because in the flashbacks with Aaron and his wife, we saw that he was having trouble lighting the fire and
Right.
lighting a fire for them and doing anything, so he can't get the match lit, but then he has to actually resort to using kind of rock against rock to get a spark to work, and he's able to do it, and he gets
Yeah.
it to work, so I kind of view that as a good redemption for him.
Well, it's a good point, Dave.
Thank you.
David, it's all gone down.
I was just waiting for Bob Marley's redemption song to be played. I don't know why I thought that was going to happen next.
I'm still waiting for Major Tom by David Bowie.
We got like 20 different songs in this episode. So,
Or this.
What is this?
I think some Beach Boys, isn't it?
It is Beach Boys.
Beach
Yeah,
Boys.
what does this have to do?
I don't know.
Maybe wouldn't it be nice if Monroe and Miles could get back together and
Aw.
things could be the way they were when they were young.
Aw. So,
Exactly. Back together. Just have a confrontation song a la Les Mis. Just to go back to musicals.
so Miles ends up making it out as Charlie is waiting for her, and is like, "What are you doing? Run! Or run, you idiot!"
Yeah,
And that's
I
his
like that.
response, "Run, you idiot!" As he's like running away, and they all end up getting away together. When you see a helicopter starting to fly above,
Dun dun dun.
and Monroe pissed off, looking over at the helicopter. So I guess it looks like the amplifier has been finished.
Yeah.
And after Monroe is pissed off looking at the helicopters, the one that flies above, its machine gun starts twirling, and the episode ends.
Yeah.
Quite the cliffhanger
Quite the
for a
cliffhanger.
mid-season finale.
Yeah.
As people look like they might be about to die. Nope, mid-season finale.
I have to say, I wanted a little bit more in that cliffhanger. I
Yeah.
have to say it. I have to be honest. I wanted a little bit more reveal of maybe something else of what was going to go on next.
We can speculate what we
can
think
speculate,
is going
yeah.
to happen.
I
in
definitely
predictions.
didn't think it was ending. I think somebody said, "Is that it?" And I'm like, "No, that's not it. I think there's more."
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
I
it
thought
didn't
there might
seem
be, like,
long
commercial break.
enough
Yeah.
for one more commercial break to
Yeah.
go to, and yeah, it kind of ended just without anything.
Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe like a character might be about to die or
Yeah.
something that's not, or I thought maybe like someone was going to join the militia who you didn't think it was, and it was going to be like a cliffhanger of like, look who's in charge now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just kind of
Look
ends
at
with,
me now.
I
look at me
really,
now.
Look at me now.
I really thought it might
Look
be
at me
Jason that was coming there
now.
to
I'm
save Charlie.
paper.
I'm not going to play that song.
Please don't.
How you like me now?
They ended it like
How you
Sopranos.
like me now?
Yeah, they ended like the series finale of The Sopranos, though. There's a difference.
Yeah.
So Calrakian mentions that he thought it was weird, or that she thought it was weird that Rachel didn't take the pendant or smash the amplifier prior to slapping Miles.
Yeah.
Well, we saw earlier they tried to smash the pendant and that didn't work. We're like, what was that made of?
That's true, but she maybe take it. I don't know if the
Yeah,
I don't
at
know if the
least take
pendant was
it.
there though. Maybe the pendant wasn't in the
I am
room.
titanium.
So
And during that scene, did she know if Charlie and Danny had gotten away at that point?
I don't think she
Because
knows.
if she didn't know, she may not have done it either, because
That's
that's
true.
still her leverage to
Oh, that's a good
keep
point.
them alive.
Yeah, I don't think she knew yet what was going on.
Yeah, I don't think she did.
And that her first reaction was to slap Miles, so hopefully
Yeah.
we'll find out a lot more about what's going on with that.
Yeah.
But before we get to some of the comments from all you guys from last week, I do want to mention that we also have an after blog that you can check into, written by our very own Derrial.
Oh, yes. That's right. I do write that, don't I? Yes. You can go to AfterBuzz TV, and you can go into the After Blog section and go right to the Revolution After Blog, where I write each week and recap the show and give my personal opinion on what I thought of the show. So please go there and check it out. And there's several other After Blogs as well. There's one for Walking Dead. I think there's Battle of the Seasons on MTV, Homeland. So there's a bunch of them there outside of just Revolution. I know. You're great. So yes, please definitely go check it out. We have a lot of after blogs that you will enjoy, including the one that I write for Revolution.
Yeah.
All right, so after that weirdness, let's go to some of the comments. iTunes, thank you, Gypsy Dre, for commenting. We appreciate it.
It's a nice name.
On YouTube, we had
Gypsy
Will
Dre.
Smalls, Couch Pudding Potter, Mikkel Costley, Inez Ruiz, Raptos, and Tina W219. Raptos said that he enjoys the number of main cast members in the show and thinks it makes it hard to predict who's really pulling the strings, as we were talking about before. And he thinks that we'll find more badass characters that will appear in 2013. And I don't know, I really think that it's, I mean, we're seeing these different warring factions starting to pop up, but I really think that Randall at the end of the day is going to be the guy who's been pulling the strings.
I agree. He's Dr. Claw.
Yeah.
For sure.
And Couch Pudding Potter thought that last week's episode was a strong episode for Aaron, where he really proved himself by not giving into the hallucination of his wife. And wishes that we could do the show earlier because it's at 1 a.m. her time.
Oh.
We also kind of wish we could do it.
We do too. We're with you.
It-
We're all
it does
very
too.
sleepy.
But the good news is we're the first podcast up for Revolution.
It's true.
We get it to you first. You're welcome.
That's right. Give it to you
The
first.
exclusive, right.
So, thank you guys so much for your comments. Let's get to predictions.
Doo doo.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Predictions. We're in this, like, we all have magical powers suddenly after that song, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
I feel it now. In the
The
air.
power of peaches.
The power of peaches, yes. All right, so we're in predictions.
Well, they
so
show
I'm
a preview for 2013.
Right.
Yeah, it's coming back March 25th.
And Monroe has power. That is what we find out. Monroe has power.
And Rachel says, let's get some of our own.
My
Yeah.
prediction is I'm going to keep it what I said at the beginning of the show. I think that Jason possibly might be in one of those helicopters flying to save Charlie because we didn't see him this episode or last episode.
I think that Monroe will say, Miles, you can join me or I'm going to shoot all your family. Because he's like, if you just join me, then I'll let your family go. So I think he's going to still want Miles in exchange for letting his family go. And I think that he'll hold the helicopter if Miles will stay. Because then Charlie's not going to be okay with that. And then Rachel's going to want to go get her own army and power because they know how. So then they can come back for Miles.
I think we're going to see
Season 2, there you go.
the two storylines that are going to show up is because they mentioned the Georgia one, I think we're going to see a war for that. And I
Yeah.
think we're going to see Rachel go out and explore for the other pendants. And
Maybe
now-
in Georgia.
Possibly,
she
yeah.
can join
They'll probably
that
go to
their
There's rebels
side.
in Georgia.
Yeah.
She
They're
can
ha-
join their side too.
I'm
Read
not-
that map with that Randall had of all the
Yeah, I'm not remembering exactly where the
Pendants.
locations were, but there might have been one in Georgia.
get some peaches down there.
And
Georgia
yeah.
peach.
And
Millions
she
of
does
peaches.
and she does know how to use it too. She knows how to use it. She
Yeah.
knows how to use those
She knows how to
peaches.
use
Who
those peaches.
knows?
See, now I would think it'd be quite a twist if all of a sudden Miles has something else up his sleeve and we see him as this good guy, but maybe he's
he's
not.
not.
No, I like Miles, so I like him good, but maybe he should be a little more bad again. I don't know.
And another prediction I have been playing with for the last couple episodes too, but I'm going to say it
Play.
tonight. Playing with, that's the theme for tonight as well, is that possibly Miles and Rachel might have more of a relationship that's beyond just being friendly,
Yeah,
I think.
it
I think
seems
there
that
might
way.
be something there
I agree. At one point in time.
at one point in time.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Well, that does it for our predictions for this week for this mid-season finale.
Yes.
What are we gonna do for the next 4 months?
I know.
'Cause,
We're going to hang out with Tim
wait,
Guinee.
It's March
Yeah, we are.
25th.
March
March 25th is when it comes back, and
Yeah.
hopefully Tim Guinee will come on back on. Thank you so much for calling in, guys. Thank you so much for watching us throughout this mid-season. We'll see you again in March. And guys, once again, I'm Dave Klein, and you can find me on Twitter at @TheDaveKlein. That's KLEIN, or go to my website djk-online.com.
And I'm Kristin Carole, and you can find me on Twitter at TheFan, FAN2C, TOSEE.
I'm Kristen Elizabeth, and you can check out my blog at Cinematic Escape. You can just Bing it, or you can follow me on Twitter at Cinematic Escape.
I'm Derrial Christon. You can find me under my name on Twitter and Facebook, DerrialChriston. And also, you can check out our AfterBlogs where I write it for Revolution. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. See-
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later next year.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.